Airtel app to buy Yaka units. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhodah Ngonzi on Sign Language. Mogalo Mohammed. Let's take a look at the top stories for the night.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
President Yoweri Museveni guns for stronger laws against female genital mutilation. Delayed execution of cases giving rise to gender-based violence. Defiant downtown Kampala traders operating illegally past curfew. And now Breweries awards Cheptegei with 100 million shillings towards the High Altitude Training Center.
Was brought to you by Everywhere you go, MTN.
Hello, once again, let's dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has called upon neighboring countries to enact strong laws that will address the challenge of female genital mutilation (FGM). This was contained in his speech delivered for him by the third Deputy Prime Minister Rhodah Ngonzi at the closure of the third interministerial cross-border meeting at Munyonyo to address female genital mutilation.
Why not you face the knife? Or else we shall skin you alive.
Female genital mutilation is an internationally recognized violation of human rights of girls and women. In Uganda, although FGM was made illegal by the 2010 Prohibition of Female Genital Mutilation Act, the Domestic Violence Act 2010 and the National Policy and Action Plan on Elimination of GBV 2016, it is still prevalent in some districts like Kwen, Buku and Kapchora in Sebei region and Moroto, Nakapiripirit and Amdat in Karamoja respectively. The two-day meeting at Munyonyo, attended by delegates from Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia, Tanzania and the host Uganda, discussed progress by member states in the fight against the vice and share good practices towards elimination of FGM. At the closure of the event, President Yoweri Museveni noted that the NRM government has implemented several programs such as Operation Wealth Creation, Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, Youth Livelihood Program and SEDGE, among others, that have contributed to poverty reduction from 33.8% in 1999 to 2000 to 21.4% in 2019. In his speech, read by third Deputy Prime Minister Rhodah Ngonzi, President Museveni called upon member states to enact strong laws against FGM,
which will stop girls and women from migrating to neighboring countries to undergo genital cutting.
The president noted that this will be the only way to address school dropouts and the cases of sexual violence among women and girls.
We are greatly concerned by the increasing levels of sexual violence from 22% in 2016 to 36% in 2021, and in particular, defilements and child marriages, which are practiced under the cover of culture. Our cultural leaders, therefore, have a duty to play by facilitating their respective subjects and communities to abandon negative cultural practices and embrace the development programs ushered in by the NRM government.
State Minister for Gender and Culture, Peace Mutuzo, noted that COVID-19 has also escalated the vice that had reduced to 0.3%.
And the first FGM sometimes is happening on people who are mature-aged and would not want to go into it. But when they go to deliver, even without consent, somebody just cuts off the other parts.
I'm Navka Farida and Banadiga.
Female MPs under their umbrella body Uganda Women Parliamentary Association have asked police to execute all inactive cases of gender-based violence against women. In partnership with other civil society organizations, members say reluctance on execution of cases related to gender-based violence has given chance to the perpetrators to go unpunished.
Currently in Uganda, women and girls face violence at alarming rates.
The recent demographic health survey indicates a rise in repeated cases of gender-based violence by the same perpetrators. According to the survey, at least 56% of married women were more prone and experienced GBV more than once. Also, with the outbreak of COVID-19, rural areas registered more cases, with a few isolated cases registered in urban centers. Cases of gender-based violence rose to over 35, with the number of women and girls being subjected to the vice.
COVID-19 has exacerbated all the risk factors for violence against women and girls.
During the 16 days campaign against the GBV, women activists demand for more accountability on ending the vice. Even with the existence of laws against gender-based violence, the cases have continued to rise due to laxity in implementation of some laws.
51% of women and 49% of men neither sought help nor told anyone about the violence, thus denying themselves the opportunity to access available support services.
It's for this reason, however, that they call upon all custodians of the law to pay attention to the vice and put up stringent measures to bring culprits to book. They also call for more involvement of men and continuous sensitization.
We have a duty, each one of us, to protect the rights of women and girls so that we can make Uganda a better country. At police station in Uganda, you find that women have to buy police form 3 to be able to access, to be able to report cases and get the evidence that is needed.
Workers MP Margaret Rabshaija calls for continued cleaning of all spaces for women and girls by bringing culprits to book and executing all the backlogs. MPs also want some rigid cultural practices and norms dealt with, like female genital mutilation.
So we demand that the government works around the corner to end gender-based violence and also backlog in court.
Female genital mutilation remains widespread in Kapchora and Moroto, where 13% and 52% of girls and women aged 15 to 49 respectively have been subjected to FGM.
It's worth noting that men, women and girls are all prone to gender-based violence. This year's national campaign is under the theme Orange the World, End Violence Against Women and Girls. Susan Naung and Gloria Guitabinji reporting for UBC TV.
Now, experts on energy have advised government to promote smart renewable energies to solve the deficit problem, which is becoming a threat to the environment. About 90% of the total primary energy consumption is generated through biomass, with very low level of solar energy utilization. Currently, only 26.7% of the total population has access to electricity.
Biomass is still the most important source of energy for majority of the Ugandan population. About 90% of the total primary energy consumption is generated from firewood, charcoal and crop residues, which poses a threat to the environment.
Uganda now, as we speak, or as we talk now, is experiencing a lot of climate changes. Especially when you look around, there's no forest now in the countries.
Experts say strategies need to be put in place to expand the use of renewable energies for socio-economic development and environmental sustainability.
In the long run, the emission that they create is really much. So solar is a clean and safe energy system, which if our community take it up, can really save our environment.
Reports indicate that there are still gaps in ensuring functionality of the acquired solar systems. Now, Access Uganda, with the funding from UBC through GIZ, partnered with the UTC Lira to include a 5-week solar course into their electrical engineering program. 47 youth have so far been certified as technicians to enhance installation, repair and maintenance of solar sets in the rural areas.
Before coming for the training, I didn't know anything about solar, but right now I can do something about solar.
It is through this training that I've learned more about solar, but in the electrical department that I did, solar is not taught there.
We have inadequate solar technicians in Uganda, and we strongly believe that when we have solar technicians, at least we will get to know which solar systems are authentic and which ones are not authentic, because authenticity of these products is one thing that is also bringing a big challenge.
So people need to transform. You also need to be agents for transformation wherever you are going. Tell the people the beauty of having smart energy in their homes.
The use of solar PVC began in the early 1980s, and it is mainly driven by donor-funded programs for lighting and vaccine refrigeration in health centers. Ediolwa for UBC News in Lira City.
Meanwhile, failure to dialogue between political actors, especially the opposition and the ruling government in Uganda, has been attributed to lack of trust, which emphasizes consensus and serenity. While launching a report on effective governance and partnership systems for national development by Uganda National Academy of Science at Serena Hotel in Kampala, Chairman Elders Forum, retired Justice James Ogola, said if those who govern do not stick to their mandate and betray the trust, things will always go wrong.
A few months ago, Uganda National Academy of Sciences embarked on a survey to discover why people do not trust as a society outside their homes, community, their government, and why they are skeptical to pay taxes to the state. The report from the survey that aimed at coming up with recommendations on how to build the nation through effective governance indicates that the biggest reason for loss of trust among the population is the country's historical precedences like coups and wars.
If you think of the present, we have a constitution that exists mostly on paper, but does not exist in terms of our national ethos, because it can be amended freely and willy-nilly. So the present is also uncertain.
Findings in the report show that Uganda has a long legacy of broken promises.
Our leaders are human, yes, but they struggle and have struggled to figure out how to distribute resources, facilitate social cohesion, and forge new ways of being more equitable and just.
Accordingly, trust requires a space for shared vulnerability, willingness to learn and focus on shared problems.
Another development must have consequences that inspire us to action. We must open our hearts to trust with compassion and humility. However, we are all vulnerable in different ways.
The chairperson, Elders Forum, retired Justice James Ogola, says One reason dialogue would fail is lack of trust in those governing the country, which he terms as a deficit of trust.
And if that trust is betrayed, then things go wrong. Contract cannot hold. The understanding cannot work. The governorship becomes a big problem. Things break down. There's a need to build, to rebuild, restore relationship. And that's
This report targets to benefit leaders like legislators, community leaders and those at both district and national levels because it will help them succeed in their various roles. I'm Nafka Farida in Kampala.
With that, we take a quick break. We return with more details. This is News Tonight.
Guletede MTN Kabode esimu ya smart gyosobola okwefunira olwo n'ogisasula mpola nkugambye yeneeri eya kabi ate nga tamanyi endala zonna mu katale ejjirako omuggo gwa yintaneti kati ky'oba okola gwenyiga sitiimu 65 okebere oba osobola okwefunira MTN Kabode olumala okebera bw'oti dduka buddusi ku dduuka lya MTN lyonna eri kuli okumpi weefunire MTN Kabode olwo olyoka ogisasule mpola ng'osasula nusu 15 zokka buli wiiki okumala emyezi 6 ng'okozesa MTN Momo weefunire Kabode kati dish.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Guletede MTN Kabode esimu ya smart gyosobola okwefunira olwo n'ogisasula mpola nkugambye yeneri ya kabi atenga tamanyi endala zonna mu katale ejjirako omuggo gwa internet kati ky'oba okola gwenyiga *555*2 okebere oba osobola okwefunira MTN Kabode olumala okebera bw'oti dduka buddusi ku dduuka lya MTN lyonna eri kuli okumpi weefunire MTN Kabode olwo olyoka ogisasule mpola ng'osasula nnusu 15,000 zokka buli wiiki okumala emyezi 6 ng'okozesa MTN Momo weefunire Kabode kati dish.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend services. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Raising voices.
As a teacher, I have the opportunity to shape how children grow and learn. I believe in creating a non-violent school where children feel safe and respected. I promise to lead by example and create a different kind of relationship with my learners, one that helps them grow.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Guletedde MTN Kabode esimu ya smart gy'osobola okwefunira olwo n'ogisasula mpola nkugambye yeneeri eya kabi ate nga tamanyi endala zonna mu katale ejjirako omuggo gwa internet kati ky'oba okola gwenyiga *555*2 okebere oba osobola okwefunira MTN Kabode olumala okebera bw'oti dduka buddusi ku dduuka lya MTN lyonna eri kuli okumpi weefunire MTN Kabode olwo olyoka ogisasule mpola ng'osasula nnusu 15,000 zokka buli wiiki okumala emyezi 6 ng'okozesa MTN Momo weefunire Kabode kati dish.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back. Now in business news, ever since curfew was imposed following the outbreak of COVID-19, most people in Kampala Central Business District are finding it difficult to get to their homes in the evening hours due to the inadequacy in the transport means. City, taxi and bus drivers attest that they are forced to drive only one route during the evening hours in order to beat the curfew, which has created a transport vacuum.
As part of containing the spread of COVID-19, President Yoweri Museveni announced a countrywide curfew from 7 p.m.
Number one, curfew time is maintained at 7 p.m. Sawe Muyechiro up to 5:30.
But as time passes, the curfew rhetoric remains subtle, with hundreds of Ugandans in Kampala finding it difficult to find their way home. This is City Square Bus Park, where you found hundreds queued up waiting for transport means to take them back home.
Watu wanachelewa sana, hawafike nyumbani kwa wakati na kuna kafyu. Natakiwa serikali iangalie kwa hiyo neno kwa makini.
Tulina tujja wano sawa 10 naye emmoloka wano tuvaawo kumpi obasawa nga 2 kitundu ng'ate n'emboka abasirikale batutwalaganya.
It is the struggle for the fittest here, and social distancing remains a myth as buses are filled to capacity. Taxi drivers attest to the fact that they are forced to drive only one evening route to beat curfew, and the current hiked fuel prices have exacerbated the situation.
Gundi President of Museveni bazo okugera manyita agenda tukola ki agenda kututa oba tuongezeko ku budde n'obudde bwe tukoleramu buzibu budde bwa curfew emeko ekola lutu emu tetuli mu mbeera nnungi tuyimidde bulungi.
Ironically, in downtown Kampala, business has just kicked off. It's like daytime, and it's the best time for business since Kampala Capital City Authority is out of town and street vendors are taking the advantage.
During the time, budget no wansi wayiriza lwasonga eno security simbi bwavu kuba omuntu bwe batugamba nti nno tujje tukole ku macha zigondowera amazima ddala sawa mwenanga tunafuna sente zo yaga tulina obuvunaanyizibwa.
The presidential directive on curfew also banned border borders from operating beyond 6 p.m. but it's past that time and border borders are packed waiting for passengers.
Border borders are now allowed to move up to 1800 hours, that is 6 o'clock. Beyond 1800 hours, no border border should be on the road.
Downtown Kampala has 4 police posts manned by men and women in uniform, but they too are just looking on as business goes beyond curfew. It is just a few minutes to 9, that is already past curfew time, but here in downtown Kampala, it is business as usual. A beehive of activities here taking place can only confirm that curfew is only theoretical but not practical. Sadam Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Turkey's lira crashed to a record low of 13.4 to the dollar on Tuesday, triggering a sell-off after Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan defended his central bank's continued contentious interest rate cuts amid rising double-digit inflation. He labelled the move as part of the economic war of independence, rejecting calls from investors and analysts to change course.
President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, a self-described enemy of interest rates, believes lower interest rates will result in lower inflation. A day before the central bank's decision, he reiterated his stance, stating that he cannot be on the same path with those who defend high interest rates. Meanwhile, many Turks are struggling to get by, as consumer inflation has reached nearly 20% in October.
There are serious problems with food prices. Food inflation is hovering around 25 to 30%. And it's still...
And in sports, the Joshua Cheptegei High Altitude Training Center construction fundraising drive has received a shot in the arm from Nile Breweries, who have donated 100 million shillings towards the cause. This was revealed during the celebrations to mark the beer's 21 Monde Gold medal in Jinja.
Joshua Cheptegei crossed the line at the just concluded Tokyo Olympics, winning gold and silver in the 5,000 and 10,000 meter races respectively. BBC's senior commentator Rob Walker, who was on commentary duties for the Global Olympics English channel, waxed lyrical, and his punchlines intimated that Ugandans were to celebrate this win while imbibing bottles of Nile Special in Jinja and Kampala.
We're looking at a man who will never have to buy a bottle of Nile Special ever again, anywhere in his home country. Joshua Cheptegei is the Olympic champion.
Now, to further celebrate Cheptegei's win, Nile Breweries has today unveiled a 100 million shillings contribution towards Cheptegei's cause. Nile Breweries awarded Cheptegei as it marks 21 times being awarded as the Golden Bear.
An epitome of what it means to be an award-winning brand, and this is Joshua Cheptegei. We feel that Nile Special, as a brand that has finally earned its place among those that bring pride to Uganda, is in a position to be able to recognize Joshua Cheptegei for his feats for the Ugandan nation.
You know, a forest without young trees is already a dead forest. That is why I took up the initiative to set up a training center where we can be able to nurture talents. And this gesture is not a mean gesture. It's really celebrated, and I really want to say thank you back to Nile Special.
Joshua Cheptegei's High Altitude Center in Kapchora is targeting to empower young runners who love to join athletics to train at world-class facilities. Samuel Senono, UBC News.
Well, and that does it for News Tonight for now. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details. Mugalu Muhammad on sign language. I am Rhodah Ngonzi. Do stick around.